Oh, won't you hear me? Won't you see the haunted truths that follow me? Their eyes are closed, their hearts are stone, but I won't walk this path alone. Believe in me, hear my truth and hear my word. Join with me, let our voices now be heard. When candles flicker, the shadows play, the echoes linger and beg to stay. I'm not seeking fear, I'm not astray, but they're alive in the night and day. I've traced their stories on the mossy walls. I felt their sorrows in the midnight calls. I carry secrets in my trembling hands, yet still they doubt what they don't understand. Oh, won't you hear me? Won't you see the haunted truths that follow me? Their eyes are closed, their hearts are stone, but I won't walk this path alone. Believe in me, hear my truth and hear my word. Join with me, let our voices now be heard. Let our voices now be heard. Believe in me.
Oh, timing. Just took a mouthful of... No, I'm getting everything wrong. Hang on a minute, guys. It's better. Oh, I'm still out of breath as well. Just been at the town. Forgot to take my inhaler. I'm stupid. Right. Give me a sec. Okay. Just wolfed down the tuna sandwich. I don't know if Sky's in, but Sky, if you are, thank you so much for the gifted membership. You treasure. Stormy's probably gone, but no problem, sweetie. No problem. What are we on? 1:32. I was supposed to go into town much earlier, and I had to walk. Getting spoiled with lives today. Yeah, actually, I'm not going to blame Crow. I'm going to blame Seg. Crow's about to wrap up. I can come on for a bit if you want, said Seg. Oh, no. Going to be on forever. But I know you guys don't put me under pressure, so it's fine. I am a bit breathy. That should get better, guys. So who's in? Is in the house. Raven. Hello, darling. Caroline. Lovely Caroline. John Boy. John Boy's here. Cynthia. Good morning, all. Time for coffee. I've actually got a coffee because my lovely mum said, "Do you want me to bring you a coffee up?" So I haven't had time to make a flask. So you're safe for the first part of the live, guys. You're fine. Christina, good to see you. Sam Hain. I've also had a good load to Christy. Oh, brain no working properly. Been up since 4 this morning. Hey, Debbie. You treasure. Absolute treasure. Mariah. one of the channels that I need to speak to about the project. Wayne. Can't remember what happened with Wayne and Crows this morning. Was there a... I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. No planking. Right. Just no. I'm in the garden. Can't see the screen very well, but nice. Yeah, actually, it's... that's why I'm... One of the reasons I'm breathless, by the way, guys, is because I walked into town. I suddenly found yesterday that bloody castle opened at the weekend. And yesterday... 10 o'clock on a Sunday morning, I tried to get a taxi to take me to the shops. None available. But those taxis are full of bloody Harry Potter fans. So I didn't even try to order one today. Just I'll walk up. It's a lovely day. And it is really warm here, actually. Pomp. Gentleman Pomp in the chat. My mouse is playing up, so I'm trying to do the chat. But it's doing that thing. That thing. There we go. Bottom of the chat. Just let you all say hello. Have a sip of coffee. I'm superfluous to requirements when you're all saying hello to each other. So. Oh wait. Don't mind me, guys. Just say hello. I should take my inhaler, really. Where is it? Typical Brit. Complain about the cold and then you get a nice warm day. You piss and moan about that as well. Hopefully. Queen Sarah, hello to you. I don't feel very queenly this morning. This afternoon. God, I don't even know what time it is. Shadow Mice, hello. Any lurky turkeys? We love our lurky turkeys. I have no problems with lurky turkeys. So, good to see you guys. Well, we're never happy with what we aren't. We aren't. It's actually really nice here. It's warm. There is a breeze, but even that was warm. But it confused me because I put my coat on and walked into town and I was baking. Didn't realise it was actually a warm wind. Because that has not been happening here. We've had warm sunshine, but Arctic winds. Long may it continue. It means I can get some more exercise because I'm supposed to be exercising anyway. Yeah, you're back. I'm back. I'm living in live streams today. Crow's been doing 2-hour live streams. This morning, what did you do? 4.5. Good live stream. It's a very good live stream this morning. Thank you, Mariah. You are welcome. For everything you do, you're a gem. Love you so much. I'm not feeling very wonderful this morning, but I'll be okay. This will get better as I'm talking. Thank you, sweetie. You are a legend. Oh, actually, I've just thought I haven't got Phil here to remind me, but I've just remembered. Super chat. This is what happens with the super chat. Oh my god! Can't forget the super chat button. I won 2-ply spinning wheel thanks to Raven and Cray. Did you? I won the first one. I've got my Punisher Funko. It's next to all my other Funkos. When I'm properly on camera, when I've switched rooms officially, you will see my Funko Pops behind me. It's a great live today. It was a really good Crow live this morning. It was felt like one of the old school, more like one of the old school Crow lives where he was being Crow. Thanks for supporting Community Queen. Oh, who was it this morning in Crow's live? was either Pomp, I think it was Pomp actually, and I hadn't had anything. And Pomp's putting in the chat, oh, going to have a fry up. I thought, oh, shut up. I suddenly was starving. I had to go downstairs and make a bowl of Rice Krispies. I didn't have time to make a fry up. I just put Crows Live on my phone and went and got breakfast. I'm having a fry up for tea though. That's the decision to make up for it. Yeah, I know I actually didn't felt bad entering for the first one. So what I actually thought I'd do with if Jamie's doing giveaways, I don't know whether it's a good thing or not though. I'll wait until there's one I really, really want, and that's the one I really, really won't win. Yeah. So yeah, that was Pomp. Oh, going for fire. Fire. Yeah, it was a great breakfast. I'm so happy for you, Pomp. No, it's good that you had a good fire. Yeah, that's what I'm going to make for dinner tonight. And it also means that, because I'll be knackered by the end of this stream, because I've been up since 4, and then, you know, in Crows for 4.5 hours, and then doing this one. So fry up's nice and quick. Only got to see some of Crows Live this morning. I fell asleep again. I was tempted to lie back down, but I would have been asleep. I'm supposed to be mudding. Well, go on, Cynthia. Tell us, make us all jealous, because I've literally just thrown a tuna sandwich down my throat. Sarah the Six Spice Girl, Queenie Spice. Shall I tell you what I want? What I really, really want? I want coffee. Oh, is APRF in the house? Awesome. I'm going to actually leave it to. Oh no, we've got 19. Can somebody put APRF's linky poo in the chatty poo, please? This weather makes me sleepy. Yeah, it's a bit muggy. I don't know if everybody knows what that means, but we call it a bit muggy when it's a bit. I mean, it's not uncomfortably humid or anything, but it's warm and stuff, and a sort of warm breeze. It does make you sleepy. No, tuna and mayo. I don't like salad cream. Actually, it was when I went to the shop. When I walked into town, I picked up a tuna sandwich, and I didn't realise I'd picked a tuna and sweet corn it up, which I don't mind, but I'd rather have it without the sweet corn. There, thank you, Raven. Thank you for APRF. APRF just starting out, and recommended by me. Jamie gave them a shout out on Saturday as well. They've got a wonderful introduction video and videos there. Really interesting channel, so show them some love, help them get going. Mocha and Mary Jane, it's my brekkie. Oh, Mocha. I want a Mocha, man. Already had it copied, Sarah. Awesome. Oh, I know. I don't need to say anything, do I? Sarah, we know what we're doing. Shut up. I like sweet corn. I absolutely love sweet corn when it's corn on the cob. It's not that I don't like sweet corn. It's just in a tuna sandwich, I prefer it not to have sweet corn in it. I do put sweet corn in my tuna pasta though. Yeah, I hope everything was okay, Pomp. Doing kinks is about using a phone, so I will be the bouncer. Oh, links. I was wondering what kinks were. Yeah, no problem. Mocha is hockey. Yeah, I actually, even as a kid, back in, you know, the olden days, before these things were a thing, I think it was a friend of mine at school said, "Oh, try putting chocolate and coffee together." We just called it chocolate and coffee. We didn't know it's called mocha, but yeah, I love a mocha. Yeah, corn on the cob with plenty of butter is lush. It is. I do love corn on the cob. It's a bit messy to eat, but who cares? You know. It is yummy. I like corn. I've also got sweet corn in the house. You know, tins of it for cooking. But I'm still sea-free. Still sea-free. My brain not working. Brain not working, guys. Sorry. You'll have to carry me today for a change. You usually do, don't you? Oh! Sorry, I've just put 2 and 2 together. Pomp, that is awesome. That's absolutely awesome. I told you I was slow today. I can't eat anything with a veg shell, like sweet corn, peas, lentils, beans. Oh, yeah. I tell you what, it's not a vegetable, obviously. But I tell you what I have to be careful about, because I have a terrible gag reflex. And it's always when I get down to the end of the packet is sweet corn, not sweet corn, I just said sweet corn, popcorn. You get down to you buy a bag of popcorn, you get down to the end where it's just like the kernels and stuff, the shells. Yeah, sorry, Pomp, I got there, and that's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. Yeah, I find that there's always one bit of the shell of popcorn that gets stuck in the back of my throat right at the end of the bag. I'm subliminally planking you all, sweet corn. This is from Cold Pizza Lady. Listen to her. That is great. It's always good to hear that, because it's always a worry. So that's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I'm not planking everybody for liking sweet corn. Sweet corn's yummy. Like I say, especially corn on the cob. I haven't had corn on the cob forever. I don't make it at home. It tends to be something I have when I'm out. I love corn on the cob. Love it. But I also like a fry up, and that's what I'm going for tea. Awesome, Pomp. I've been in remission from throat cancer for 3 years now. Oh, that's brilliant. That is brilliant. It's always good when you hear stories like that. I mean, I've not had it, but you know, family members and friends that have different outcomes, but some that have literally been in remission for a long time, and it's always refreshing to hear. Ooh, pasta bake with crushed ritzy cheese crackers on top before you put it in the yeah. That's what I do. We have cheese thins from Morrison's, which I buy because they're cheap. But yeah, sort of crunch those up into it. Just makes it different on the whole thing. The same thing with you making macaroni cheese. Sheila. I've only just seen your email, Sheila, and I'm going to talk about that email in a minute. Not your email, the Fantastic Publishing email, because I am going to be checking that daily now for reasons that will become apparent. But yeah. Oh, sorry, chat jumping on me. Marie Jane, that's awesome. Absolutely awesome. So, getting all the good A's. Good A's. By the way, Mariah, because I'm live today, I'm obviously not going live tomorrow. Just so you know, I wanted to go live today because I want to get these initial announcements out the way at the beginning of the week, because then I want to do a video on it. After I've talked to a few channels by the end of the week, and I also want to get my second episode of History Debunkers out, which I did the audio for yesterday, so that shouldn't take too long. It also means I'm doing Saturday, Monday and Wednesday instead of 2 days on the trot, which is a bit much. They had to break some of my teeth to get mine, so I have spinal issues. Is a choice of teeth or paralysis. Oh no. Mind, you know, I have hardly any teeth at the top, and that was through choice because of medical problems. And it was my choice to actually have the false teeth at the top, and I haven't regretted it. So, plus I hate the dentist, so it was just sort of a lot less dentist visits to worry about. I was still in my 40s when I made that arrangement. I thought I'd get more kickback from the dentist. That's when I said, I just want a denture. And she went, okay. Oh, okay. I lost all the bottom teeth. Oh, that sucks. Because my dentist recommended because I actually said, I've got teeth at the bottom, just not at the back. But I actually said, what stage are my teeth at? Because I had infantile fits when I was little, and I was on phenobarbital for 6 years, which knackers your teeth. It knackers your adult teeth. So I've always had problems with my teeth, but she reckons the bottom teeth are strong enough because apparently a denture on the bottom is far more difficult to maintain. Ryan, hello, sweetness. Good to see you. I lost a cap tooth in a Greg's pasty. What did I lose? I know what I lost. A crown in was malt loaf. Yeah. So it can happen. There we go. Right. I think we're up to date. I don't want to blind you guys with too much information today, but what I wanted to do for part of this is I have started having 1 or 2 chats with people. There's other I want to have longer chats with people like Mariah. I've quick chat with Jamie. Phil and I've been talking. I'm going to be contacting Laura. Keep talking about this Believe in Me project. That's what I've called it, by the way. But it's based on excuse me, on Stormy's quote where she said at the end that they didn't believe in me. So I'm calling the project Believe in Me. After where's Phil? Phil's at work. Phil's mean. He's got a real life. But I have spoken to Phil about this. So I will go through what I've spoken to with Phil about. Where's Phil? I get enough of that from Noah. Where's Phil? Hey Sarah, good to see you. Where's Phil? More than once I've put in Noah's chat that Phil doesn't love him anymore. That's why he's not there. That's a question, Noah. Noah's a tinker. Noah's a tinker. I have a tattoo saying "Believe with a shooting star" after I got my sister passed. Oh, that's awesome tattoo to have. I have to say, because I keep talking about getting more tattoos. I mean, both of my tattoos are personal, and when I want to get my a sleeve done on my over time, obviously, because it costs a fortune, on my left arm, and everything that goes on there will mean something special to me. Miss my handsome gents. Well, not good enough for you, Sheila. Right, fine, okay. Phil's at work because he's horrid. No, Phil's at work. Phil's fortunately, Phil's actually getting some sleep. Or he says he is. I'm hoping. Because work is really tiring him out at the moment. Where's Phil? He's in the Queen Vic drinking. And he's heading into, because we're heading into spring and summer. That where Phil works, he's got the added problem that he works in a very hot environment because it's industrial, and of course when it's hot, it's going to get to the point where he can't even go outside to get a break from the heat because it's going to be hot outside as well. Sorry, I'm tardy, Sarah. You are forgiven, Mike. I was tardy actually, so I can't really moan at anybody. I wouldn't anyway. I'm just blaming Crow and Seg on me being tardy. Had to drive daughter to school. Who's Phil? Yeah, exactly. Vague memory. Hope he's not lurking. No, he'll be asleep, surely, still. Because we're 5 hours ahead now again, so... Yeah. But we'll talk about this today, because I've got a feeling there's some major drama about to hit the community. So let's sidetrack it. I bought the flavoured lip seal. The instructions said take off top and push up bottom. I'm waking funny, but at least my farts smell nice. Oh, you're a treasure, Wayne. You're a treasure. Actually, I need to talk to you about this as well, actually. Make sure I've got my dates right. 90 degrees here at the end. Hate heat and humid. I don't mind heat. I spent August in San Antonio, and I don't mind when it's dry heat, but it's when it's humid. I can't stand it. Oh, the sun is blocking my eyes. Yeah, what's that bright thing in the sky? They don't get any better, do they, Wayne? Just worry when they get worse, Pomp. Just worry when they get worse. I have loads of tats. I designed a lot of mine, and my favourite one's my fairy sat on a climbing vine with butterflies and flowers from toe to hip, and the fairy is holding a spliff and smoke. That sounds awesome. That also sounds painful. The first one I had was on my ankle, and I couldn't walk properly for a week. I would actually love one on my wrist, but I'm frightened of having one done on the wrist. It's just right up here. I might go out for another walk. Go do a vlog. I wear my sweatshirt up until 95 degrees. Oh, my goodness. I struggled going to and from town in a denim jacket. Pomp, you've just criticised Wayne. My mouse is still playing up. And you come up with that. I tried Viagra once and it got stuck in my throat. I had a stiff neck for days. I have 3 and they all have meanings. Yeah. I'm willing to help you with anything you need, love. So lovely. Thank you, Sheila. Inside wrist didn't hurt. I would have thought that would be the worst bit apart from the bone. Because I was thinking if I did get one on the wrist, not to have it right the way round. It's interesting. Tattoos don't hurt, Deb. The one on my ankle fucking killed me. It's right on the bones. I've got a dragon on my ankle. When I had the one on my arm is on my upper arm, but it's near the elbow, and it looks as though it's in a strange place because it was all supposed to be added to. But then I moved away from London and never for years never found another tattooist. But I know when I went to get that one done, I was sort of bracing myself for the pain, and it was like, oh, that barely hurts at all. It doesn't hurt on. If it's on muscle or bone, that's when you're gonna hurt. I need tattoos, Sir Raven. Yep, you do. I want to do a vlog at Blackpool, so we don't know if film is allowed there. It's usually in the blurb, actually. John Boy, what they were, because I know we have that here. We have a couple of places here. I know Walkworth Castle is one of them inside the grounds, and the Alnwick Garden is another one. You can't take pictures or film for commercial purposes. You can take pictures and film. So that's what it'll say on their website. They will say on the website, because everybody will have cameras and stuff that going round. Just make sure they're okay about it for commercial. You sound like my cousin Mickey. Loved the heat and humidity. Actually, my middle nephew even as a kid, didn't matter how hot it was, he would always have about 10 layers on. We used to be baking just looking at him. Can't see chat, just wanted to ask, do you think anyone will ever do anything on near-death experiences that weren't supposed to survive and it correlates to anything? But I am happy to include that in the project. My mum had that, actually. My mum talks about that. When she was in her 40s with her illness, she did die, and obviously they brought her back. So yeah, that to me, but this project that I'm doing, this isn't just about seeing ghosts, it's about anything to do with the paranormal, anything. And I am more than happy, in fact I would actually love a section on near-death experiences. I'm saying a section, by the way, is because what I'm planning on doing, just quickly, I've mentioned doing videos and I've mentioned doing podcasts, etc. And Laura will put stuff in the magazine, but I'm also planning on publishing a book with everybody's experiences in them. It would be lovely to have a chapter on near-death experiences. I would like the book to include more than just sort of seeing ghosts. It's not that bit's not important. It's more, a lot what my experiences are, but it's that's part of my, as you guys know, it's part of my thing about the community is let's expand on the topics. We don't have to be talking to dead people all the time, although that's actually the next video. So yes, that would be, Alyssa, that would be awesome. My arm's going to take several sessions, like 11 to 15. Yeah, mine is. I mean, I was going to have a sleeve on the top of each arm, but then I saw somebody with just one arm that was a full sleeve, and it just looked absolutely great. So, but I would imagine I'm talking about hundreds, probably well over 1,000, maybe even 2,000 for the entirety. So when I am going to start designing it, I'm going to start designing it in sections, so it's done bit by bit, because I can't afford to get it all done in one place. The worst place for tats is on the inside of the upper arm. Yeah, when I had my first tattoo done, it was a friend of mine. She got a couple of tattoos, and then she just ended up getting loads and loads. And she said that underneath the arm, I think that when I say full sleeve, by the way, it's technically not a full sleeve. I'm talking about the upper part of the arm. You know, the top part of the arm being tattooed from shoulder to wrist. I also want it to go over my shoulder. I've got an idea for a design that takes it over the shoulder a little bit, but it'll be done bit by bit. Both my wrists does hurt on the bone. Behind your ears tattooed. Because that's quite, I mean, obviously you've got your skull, that's quite bony, and the problem with your ears are so sinewy. I went to get my ears pierced again. I would also quite like a nose stud, but I agree, Punk, but one of mine took 3 hours after the second break, restarting it really stung. The friend I'm talking about that had loads and loads done, I used to go to all the gigs with when I was in London, and she had one. It was actually because I used to go and see all the Guns N' Roses shows with her, and she actually had a Guns N' Roses tattoo on her upper thigh. It was one of the Guns N' Roses designs. I can't remember. It was quite a big design, and a complicated design. And halfway through having it done, they had an electricity cut, so she had to go back the next day to get it finished. And she said it was the worst one of all of them, because, you know, a day later it's getting really sore and tender. Koi carp on my shoulder blade, that tickled a bit. I don't want it all the way down, I just want it sort of going slightly over. Would be interesting to interview people who had near-death experience. Yeah. It would. Because there are all sorts of experiences that we can have that aren't necessarily sort of other beings, if you like. My weirdest story is one that I'm the most nervous of telling because of the subject matter that it's involved with, because it's a UK thing. And I don't want to use the word premonition because I didn't know anything was going to happen or anything. It's just that the events of the day all slotted together in that it sort of involved an event at the beginning of the day where I had a really, really, really bad feeling, but I shook it off because I was young at the time, or forgot it. Then something later in the day happened that, news-wise, that connected to everything that had happened to me in the morning. I'm just being careful about it. I do want to tell the story. Might just put it in the book, actually. People of different thresholds, depending where the tattoo is on your body, makes all the difference. Yeah. Melissa, check out Raymond Moody. You can't at the Pleasure Beach. The one of the reasons for the Pleasure Beach, and you'll have to be careful for the zoo as well. I would actually try and go to the zoo when the kids are at school. Because it's a bit like I'm a photographer. I used to be, and my biggest love in photography was street photography. I can't do it here because it doesn't really work in pretty rural England. And there are certain rules for street photography in terms of taking pictures of other people, and the same would go for filming. And so I would imagine at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, it will include a privacy issue. You and Friday are going to chat? Awesome. Awesome, Ryan. On his channel. If somebody can link Friday's channel, that'd be fine. On Ryan's. Ryan talks about everything. Hang on. Grow in the chat. There are some. Here's the thing with. I know what science says about near-death experiences. Firing neurons in the brain, etc. But there's one of the reasons why I'll be doing this initial project, but I want to encourage the community at large to keep it going, because what can happen, the more and more stories you hear from people who don't even know each other, is you end up with people with suddenly very similar experiences. I can't remember whether it was my live or Crow's live. I think it was Crow's live, actually, and me and Phil were on, and we were both talking about a dream experience, and we'd had the exact same dream we didn't know. I mean, Phil and I talk all the time. We didn't know that we'd had the exact same dream experience about the exact same situation. So it's interesting how me as a researcher, I'm going to be very interested to see if people come up with the same story who sort of don't know each other, might be at opposite ends of the world. That's why I think projects like this are important. I can give you a near-death experience. So give me cold pizza. Yep, that would be brilliant. So don't think. Hang on, guys. Sorry, that came up without warning. Yeah, so don't think with this project, with this Believe in Me project, it's just about seeing ghosts. It can be about aliens, it can be about cryptids, it can be about, anything. Folklore, legend. It can be about, personal experience. So I mentioned the premonition. I don't want to call it premonition because it's not like I was a psychic who saw, oh, this is going to happen. I didn't know. But these strange experiences that have nothing to do with anything else. It would be nice to, that's the right word, but it would be great to have a near-death experience section in there. I love the Wire Files. I also love Metaphysical. They often cover the same subjects. I'll look at that. I haven't watched them this week. Both of them at the same time, actually, both Metaphysical and the Wi Files put out vlogs on whether we're living in a simulation or not. And although they were both basically covering the same thing, they kind of covered it in different ways, so you got sort of different perspectives on it. It was great. There's a phenomenon of people, someone who helps pull them through, that were never there. Yeah. It's see, that's what I mean. If we just use a generic term of entities, there's all sorts of different entities. There's all sorts of sometimes it can be humans that can suddenly get stories where somebody suddenly appeared and they're actually not there, and like you say, they've helped. It's almost like having a guardian angel, third man effect or something like that. Yeah, I'm like, no, not touching behind my, got slash tattooed on the back of my hand. God, I bet that hurt. Jonathan, good morning, you awesome person, you. Good to see you. I have heard that a few hospitals keep objects like toys up high and out of sight. The patients in the operating theatre, some patients who have NDEs have been able to identify the objects. Yeah. I mean, that's something else is, sort of, and that's in a lot of religions, actually, is, astral projection, out-of-body experiences. I didn't know they did that, though. That is. I agree with Mike. That is really interesting. I am sure. I don't know if there's some sort of code of ethic or whatever with doctors and nurses, etc. But I am sure that there are a lot of doctors and nurses who would be able to tell you stories like that that they've witnessed or they've heard about in hospitals. It makes sense. I want a phoenix and cherry blossoms next on my right thigh. Oh, I love cherry blossoms. Coming over my shoulder and the tail wrapped around my... Wow. That would look awesome. Why would they have toys in an operating theatre? I think it's probably just objects that are clear that that can't be seen, but if you're sort of floating above, you would see them. My psychiatrist said something interesting when I asked her about hallucination. I told her I always thought it was a ghost, and she said, in a way, yes, which shocked me. Really? Yeah, that would be interesting to know her take on that. I prefer the Pleasure Beach before they started changing the entrance. I haven't been to the Pleasure Beach in years. I'll just wait till I go up to the lakes. Yeah, safer. There's Ryan's channel. And Friday's channel. I'm sort of on Ryan's side. There has to be more than this, and I've thought that since I was little. They're not in a. You don't think about your mortality when you're a kid, or most don't, unless there's a reason to. And being old seems millions of years away. But I've always thought that. I've actually always thought it can't actually be possible for us just not to exist anymore. It's an opinion, but no proof of that. Well, a bit of proof. Oh, you found him. Awesome. There's Friday House. So Ryan's going to be on Friday House. Is that today, Ryan? Didn't see anything when I had my India. It was like I'd been asleep for 20 minutes, but was out for 18 hours. It's probably different for everybody, I think. Although that time difference is interesting. The fact that it felt as though, I mean, I've only ever been put under once, but it was when I had my appendix out, but I was only out for half an hour, but it did feel like shutting my eyes and waking up again. But it was only half an hour. That long term, I don't know experience of that. It's been done specifically because people reporting things when they couldn't possibly have seen while unconscious, and done by some medical staff out of interest in the subject. And it's a really interesting experiment, actually. Hang on, so many paranormal experiences as a child, seeing a boy in a blue ruffled collar in attic years later, was told a plantation house sat where our home did some investigating. There was a little boy back then. I mean, I've lived in cities, so I don't really know, but I know where I am. I'm very rural, and people will just talk matter-of-factly about things like that. There's the town next to me. There's it was an old mining village called Shilbottle, and I mean, it's slightly bigger now, and there's a row of houses. They're actually expensive houses. They're beautiful, detached houses. I used to know somebody who was in one that was I think it was an old converted church, actually. And they would talk about ghosts, for want of a better word, that they would see in from house to house, and they would all tell the same story. Thank you for linking John Boy's channel. Please show John Boy some love. He's gaming, and he also does some awesome vlogs. I'm really looking forward if you're going to the Lake District. I have seen a giant black cat run out in front of us while in a taxi. This is I don't know where it's actually come from with me, but because I'm very rural, and sometimes so you can have friends that you live quite a distance apart, and there was one friend I had particularly who lived west of Durham, but a tiny little village west of Durham. And there were two ways for me to get back to where I was, and it was about a 30-mile drive. One was on the main route, and I say main route, you're not talking about a big road, but it was straight through to Durham and then up the motorway. But I did actually know a quicker route in terms of distance, but you had to go up over the moors, and there was always something about going over the moors. And you don't get many stories of this up here, where I often, when I was driving sort of in the middle of nowhere and, almost single track road, and I used to be going on these roads thinking, please, I really don't want to see a big cat jump out in front of my car. I was convinced sooner or later it would happen. We need a safe place to tell our experience and not to be made foolish or unbelievable. Best so. That's what we need. I've got my own. I mean, I have said some of my stories on live streams. But Stormy broke my heart when I read her comment. I mean, her full comment is on. I did a vlog a couple of weeks ago on less drama and more talking about the paranormal. And so her full comment is pinned to the top of the comments on that video. But I have felt the same way as she's done, both as a subscriber and as a channel creator, a content creator. So it's everybody, and if we don't talk about them, one, we shouldn't feel bad for talking about them. We shouldn't feel pressured not to talk about them. We should be able to talk about them freely. Somebody said, well, how do you know if people are telling, how can they prove it? It's not about proving it. It's about sharing experiences. And if anybody watches Dave Schrader, one of the things that Dave Schrader does is he gets experiences sent to him, not just for his podcast, for what he does all over the world. And he said sometimes he will get a really strange story and he'll think, oh, no, this is rubbish. And then 6 months later, he'll get the exact same story from another continent altogether. And so if you can start collating these stories, all of us start collating these stories. I'm going to do it in book form, in podcast and videos. Laura will put them in the magazine. She said she'll have people in her live stream. I'm sure that, Jamie's in and Mariah's in and maybe other channels that are in as well. The more stories that are heard, the more you can start connecting those dots and realizing it's a bit like, let's take something that Alyssa mentioned about the near-death experiences. You're connecting those dots and suddenly thinking, but hang on, that's the exact same thing that happened to me. And you don't always know. The weirdest one with me, and this is going to sound strange, but the weirdest one with me is I've mentioned seeing I've definitely seen a shadow figure. There's no question of doubt. I was on my own, so there's nobody encouraging this story. I've seen a shadow figure in a flat I was in, last flat I was in New York. And the only bit I ever questioned about the whole experience, when people said, well, what does the shadow figure look like? So it's just deep black of shadow of a man. I never quite could bring myself to say, it looked like he was wearing a long coat and a hat. It looked like he was wearing a hat. I didn't know anything about the commonality of what's sometimes sort of urban legend-wise called Hat Man. I thought, oh my god. But it happened so quickly. I mean, I could be wrong about that, but that's what I've got in my head. But I didn't know anything about that at the time. Why are you lot in my simulation? Because we're special, John Boy. We're special. I should probably start premiering my videos just what day and time. What you could do, Hon, is, for example, it's like today. I'm on today. It's like normally when I'm like on a Saturday, I finish at 5 and I hand over to Jamie. You could always have me or somebody else sort of make an arrangement that, you know what roughly what time I'm finishing, so you can set I'll say to me, oh Sarah, I'm gonna premiere at 5, and I'll go, fine, great. When I'm finishing the live, I'll send people over. That's actually a good way to do it. I think we are all spiritual beings inhabiting a human body. I 100% agree with that. My Pinterest is filled with tattoo ideas now. I daren't start designing. Just need. That's why. It's weird telling my OB and NDA. Definitely feel like people are like, sure, okay, buddy, whatever you say, but it's a place you go, 100%. It's a really weird one, isn't it? We're in a paranormal community, but you can't tell these stories because who rubbish. People's experiences shouldn't be undervalued, even if is a logical explanation to it. I am not somebody who minds if somebody can 100% tell me why something happened the way it happened. I've always tried to debunk myself. I do believe in the paranormal, but I've always tried. Before I knew what debunking was, even as a kid, something happened, I would try and work out if there was some logic to it. But I just find it crazy that in a paranormal community, people can't have these discussions. My mum swears that she had twice an out-of-body experience, both times at home, and the first time she's seen herself, the second time she's seen her mum. Yeah. There's a great book called Goes to the NHS. Interesting read. Oh, that sounds good. I did not expect a psychiatrist saying that. Maybe the psychiatrist believes in it as well, or is at least open to it. That's very, very open for them. And it kind of, I don't know if I'm going to explain this very well, but it kind of is my point about a lot of the paranormal, or at least some of the paranormal. Just because there's a potential logical explanation for it doesn't mean that is the explanation. You know, what can be perfectly logically described as a hallucination could be something else. I've seen a full body apparition. Somebody could come along and say, "Oh, Sarah, you were hallucinating." Doesn't mean I was, and I'm pretty certain I wasn't. I've always been scared to die, and that was it. I'm never really have been apart from occasionally I'll suddenly worry about it. But I'll tell you when I stopped worrying about it. Because my dad passed away 5 years ago, and I have seen my dad. And one of the that was actually the story that was almost identical to Phil's with his mum. And one of my reactions, it was first time I cried since he died, because I had to do everything when Dad died because my mum fell to pieces. I didn't mind it, everything to help her. And it was actually the first time I cried when I saw her. But it sounds weird, but I also got this overwhelming sense of, yeah, there is something afterwards. That was the confirmation for me. Even though I'd had loads of other experiences, that to me was the confirmation, because I'd seen my dad. Absolutely 100% more than this. We've lived lots of times before and we'll go on. Yep. I agree. The nurse told me there was a sticker on top of the light, and in 4 years 10 people had told her of the sticker due to ND. Yeah. While restoring an 1800s opera house, I had a possible possession experience. My wife even caught a photo. I believe in energy, not the sensationalized YouTube. Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? You know, the clicks and views are exaggerators. It's funny because the episode of History Debunkers that comes out this week is on the Victorian, why they love the paranormal, and about the onset of spiritualism. And the Victorians had almost an obsession with death, but they also saw death as being very natural. It'll be in the video. But one of the things that the Victorians and us are very similar in terms of, which is why I went that far back, by the way, with History of Debunking, because the episode 3 will be about people who faked the paranormal in the Victorian times and people who investigated people faking them. And the people who faked it, they were very, very theatrical with it. You know, it was table tipping, it was toe tapping, it was strange voices, it was things moving to look like ectoplasm, all sorts. It was very, very theatrical. It was very exaggerated. I'm trying to think of my experiences. Visually, there's not a lot to them. I mean, like I say, I've seen a full-bodied apparition, I've seen a shadow figure, but I've tons of other experiences. Most of the time, they're not particularly visual. I was losing blood. I knew I was going when I went cold, started shaking internally. A tear rolled down my eye, and I said, "Oh," said goodbye to my husband. But you're still here, sweetie. That is amazing. And I also means you weren't ready, and I do believe in that as well. And that was, I'll have to ask Mum her experience again, but because it was years ago she told me, but it was a little bit like Mum, is that she because she talks about sort of seeing people and white light, etc. But she said she knew she wasn't ready, and she actually refused to go. And it might be similar to what happened with you, have your husband there. I was hit by a car and in a coma for 3 weeks. Since then, I've not been scared to die. I don't know why though. It could be that you've had an experience that you can't remember, you know. But yeah, sometimes things will take away that fear. Mouse. Possession and being a conduit are two separate things. Yeah. I don't necessarily believe in demonic possession, but I do absolutely believe in the energy of your place and how it can overlap or adhere to our own. There was a very interesting paranormal. This is probably 2 or 3 years ago, by the way, maybe at least a couple of years. Paranormal Quest did an investigation, which I actually found fascinating, just the whole psychology of it. And if I can't remember what it was called, it's probably at least 2 years, but I can tell you how to find it. Is they actually brought in. And I know, but they brought in, it was before they got outed, Paranormal Nightmare to help them, because what they'd gone into somebody's home to do the investigation. They wanted people with experience in there. So forget the Paranormal Night were involved. If you look at the Paranormal Quest one, it's difficult to explain, but the person who lived in the home, it was just, you clearly can see that if the person's telling the truth, that it kind of makes you question, okay, how much of this is paranormal and how much of this is the person involved? Maybe it's all the person involved, maybe it's purely paranormal, or maybe it's a mixture of both. So I absolutely agree with Jonathan on that one. Sometimes you can't tell where the energy starts and stops. It does sound awful, Debbie. I absolutely agree. But sorry, my mouse is doing that thing where it's not connecting with anything. I don't know. It'd be interesting to know if that's kind of what happened there. Is a possibility that knowing you're not ready to go. Being in a coma must have been much worse. Yeah. I can't even imagine. I totally believe there are big cats wild out there. Oh, I do. Even if you want to just put it down to, escapes, etc. But I was convinced if I kept going on, especially on that particular route, but even if I'm out and about in Northumberland, I always think, I do think it's a possibility. Mrs. Geek has created a safe space on Discord. We need more safe. I love Mrs. Geek. Beardo's alright, we'll put it with Beardo. But I love Mrs. Geek. And yeah, that's what we need is safe spaces. But it's sad that we have to have them in a paranormal community. That's kind of why I want to start bringing it out. It's still being a safe space, but putting it more in the open so people can share these experiences. These experiences can be published. These experiences can be put into videos and podcasts and live streams. I'll do some illustrations for some of the stories for the book. The book will be on Amazon, and Kindle, etc. I'm hoping Amazon does the charity thing, but I'll talk more about that later. I still need to check up on that. I was dismissive at the time. Possession isn't what's often sensationalized on YouTube. It's something more complex. Yeah. It's that's the other problem, isn't it? When it's sensationalized, and I know I'm speaking as a not just somebody who believes in the paranormal, etc., but also as a researcher. Is when it's sensationalized, it's simplified right down. There's no grey areas with it. There's no It's all about, oh, somebody's possessed. A demon's gone into them to possess them. There's way much more to it than that. But that doesn't help drive forward their narrative for the clicks and views. Yeah, that's a long time for your parents, Debbie. 3 weeks. My hubby and 5 boys. Oh, bless. Yeah. But you're here. And it's awesome that you're here. When I was young, like 9 or 10, I was kept awake at night for the fear of dying. It was from all the things my friends said were about their version of the afterlife that threw me. I've only heard 1 or 2 stories about the afterlife that have bothered me a little bit. But like I said, when I saw Dad, which was 4 years ago, 4.5 years, no, 4 years ago, there was a massive relief because of that. Yeah, please link to Dave's channel, because he does. I don't want to encourage you watching this podcast, because usually, I know I'm actually not going live on a Saturday night. Oh no, go. We're actually linked. But that's what I like about Dave Schrader. Because he does collect stories from everybody, and he'll talk about everything. And yeah, he will sometimes piece together these stories that are the same, but from people who are completely associated with each other. Candyman scared me, but it's because I watched it too. I love Candyman. That's one of my favourite horror movies. And R.I.P. Tony Todd. I enjoyed the second one as well, actually. I actually enjoyed Farewell to the Flesh. Dark Crystal was creepy. Dark Crystal, hang on, Labyrinth, A Never-Ending Story. I couldn't watch any of them. I am not watching Muppets in a fantasy movie. I had to do a commission for Labyrinth, and I actually did enjoy doing the drawing, but I couldn't watch the movie. Couldn't do it. Eventually I established my own foundation, decided what they were saying was untrue. Yeah. That's the other thing, especially with a project like this, is it's about being open about experiences with the paranormal, but we will all have varying different opinions, and that's fine. We shouldn't be frightened of sharing opinions. I'm feeling nervous already about a premiere, but great idea. You'll feel less nervous if we do it that way for you, John Boy. My recommendation for a premiere, though, which I think I finally got over to Phil, is try and make it at least half an hour, because if it's only a short premiere, people are going to cut. You're using up time people coming in, you're using up time people saying hello to each other, and the premiere's over. But yeah, we can do that. We can time it for you. So you're going to get some people in there. I've had 30 surgeries, and the bone marrow test was terrible. A lumbar puncture, one more have loads of those. But waking up during surgery was horrible. Oh, that would be my fear. There is a film called Awake with Hayden Christensen, which covers that. Yeah, Sheila has been through a lot. Yeah, Awake is actually a good movie, but that's why it's called Awake. Good film though. Still baffles me that certain channels think the word debunk means they're faking. Yeah, this is something that Crow especially will try and be as well, not try, does. Is very clear about when he's debunking a video is, it's all right. Like me, Crow doesn't like apps of any description. I'm sure if you watch Crow, you're going to get that anyway. I don't like apps or equipment of any type, but it doesn't mean because somebody's using one is that they're faking it. It's just that they believe in using that bit of, whether an app or a spirit box, whatever, they believe in that bit of equipment. Doesn't mean there's a difference between using something that maybe you don't believe in or has been even if it's been proven to be. I was watching, I'm watching a documentary series on Discovery at the moment on Alaska, and what's this community done to me? I was really enjoying this series, and then the 4th episode was about ghosts in Alaska, and I thought, okay, we'll watch the one on ghosts. And I was watching the stuff about the pyramid and stuff like that, the dinosaurs. But then it got to one on ghosts, and then so, and we've spoken to our experts, and they're showing you footage of somebody using dowsing rods, and they're showing you footage of somebody using SLS, and I was like, okay, click next episode. I'm not watching that, but doesn't necessarily mean that they're fake. It just means that we'd call them misguided. Well, SLS has been 100% proved, but yeah, it doesn't mean that they're faking. It might just mean that they need to improve on their techniques, or at least collate the data so that they're actually getting something out of it. I skipped school to see the premiere of The Dark Crystal. I'm still not the same. I tried Labyrinth. I got through the first 10 minutes of Labyrinth when it first came out. Never touched it again. When I was asked to do piece of artwork on it, I thought I better watch Labyrinth. I got through the same 10 minutes and had to turn it off. I couldn't do it. So Sky, you little legend, and here, because you didn't get it for the one, because I did mention you with the first one, so here's the one for your 2.
Oh my god.
Jamie. I need to do another Jamie button just to get back at him. Hang on. My mouse has got a mind of its own today. Or trackpad. I haven't watched again as an adult. It just freaked me out. I might think different if I tried. You could try, but like I say, I mean, it was only about 3 or 4 years ago I tried watching Labyrinth again, and I literally must have turned it off in the exact same place. It was right at the beginning. Just crow the chat a little bit. Everybody's saying hello. Oh, who have I just seen? Coming, Cree. Hello, Cree, sweetie. Hey, Dawson Han. Good to see you. Dawson had a premiere last night. If you didn't catch it, he's got a new investigation video out. And he was threatening to go live on Friday. I don't know if he's going to follow that up. Mariah back in. Hang on. Just seen Zach is here this morning. Hello, Zach. Hello. Sheila says, my favourite aunt appeared to me after her death when I was 10. I was so worried if she was okay. She appeared at my bed with a smile, said, I'm fine, darling. She was engulfed in white and smiling, then disappeared. Yeah, I've actually heard a few people with similar tales. It's almost like reassurance. I think that's partly what it was with Dad, actually. It was reassurance that he was all right. think it's always a mixture of both. Paranormal YouTubers often grade genuine spiritual exploration for theatrics, diminishing the search for truth about life after death, an age-old pursuit. Yeah. The theatrical element. Again, the Victorians are responsible for a lot of that. And it was it's not just YouTube, but especially things like social media and like YouTube. You know, people have short attention spans, and they want, you know, ghosts as soon as people walk through the door, and demon, dude, bro, demon. Like I nearly died. That's what people want to see. Me Too does. We cannot discount ourselves in the equation. I feel we all have a demon inside us. It's what makes us question ourselves and do the things we know we shouldn't. If you were talking to a psychologist, that's related to the id, ego, superego, and id. And a lot of it's subconscious, and it's also tied into needs, fundamental needs that we have, and desires. So, for example, food, sex, etc. You can be experiencing the placebo effect, and the medicine can be working at the same time. Again, that's kind of what happened with Mum, because she wasn't supposed to survive. She has a plastic anemia. When she was diagnosed with it, when she was in her 40s, she was told she only had 2 years to live. So she let them use an experimental treatment on her, which obviously was experimental, so hadn't been tried before, and she said fine. And it did work, but at the same time, even back then, the doctors said, you know, that she probably wouldn't have made it if she didn't have the attitude to that she wanted to survive. My mum's sister passed away at the hospitals the same night before finding out she passed. My mum saw her sitting at the end of her bed. That's similar to the previous story, and yeah, that is something that the mods will need to be on their toes to make sure there's no negativity or bullying. I agree. We've got amazing mods, they know, but at the same time, I say the biggest project I'm doing is the book, so you know. At the end of the day, it will happen. I'm sure, to one extent or another. But the more of us that create this space with mods on hand to actually, you know, give people a voice, hopefully it'll be more, not necessarily more accepted, but it'll be more the norm, instead of the deafening silence that we've got a lot of the time at the moment. Even I've heard a lot of people say similar things to me. It has to mean something. Yeah. Yeah, my mods don't. I have a policy, you know, anybody comes in being an arsehole, they're gone. We rarely get it, but they're gone if it happens. And I'll tell you who's insanely good if there's a misunderstanding in the chat is and she does it so quietly, and I don't always notice until I've had a look back on something after the stream to look at the whole thing, is Caroline. She's got the diplomacy skills that, you know, the UN would snap her up for. If people don't like it, then go watch something else. When spiritual exploration turns into a business, Ethics often takes a backseat, such as the reality of YouTube paranormal. That, yes, absolutely. That is the problem. That the problem is the paranormal, as much as it's not taken serious upon most people, whether it's YouTube or whether it's horror movies. That'll finish in a minute. That's my phone. That's finished. Whether it's YouTube or social media, or whether it's a horror movie or a horror show, it's money. It's a money spinner. And when something's a money spinner, all bets are off. So I think we need to at least create a corner. And it's not just my channel, you know, there's other channels who are going to get involved with this. So create this pocket, kind of like it, also away from the other drama. Just create an eye of the storm where people are comfortable. But I have done enough lives now with my chat, nearly a year now, when subjects like this have come up. For example, nobody's been arguing in the chat today. We've talked about aliens. We've talked about all sorts of things. We've got a community, a portion of the community that are always happy to talk about this sort of stuff. I've seen a black panther sitting on a tree limb while waiting for the school bus one morning, swinging its tail and just staring at me and my cousin. Police said there were none in their area. Sure, yeah. Thank you, Raven. I think it's called the Paranormal 60. Yeah. Palm not at Mary Jane, but a thought of attempt to be a troll. Yeah. They don't last long in this chat. I won't have my chat feeling unsafe or bullied. I died of liver failure, self-induced, and I was dead 2 minutes. I remember everything that happened. It wasn't like anything I'd read or heard. It could have been NDA, except I woke up alive with new liver. That's the thing, and you know, whether it's an experience that's nothing like what you've already heard, or it could be, you know, the sort of thing where I was saying where you have an experience and it seems strange, and then years you have no idea that other people have had the same experience. And it's quite empowering when somebody sort of tells the same story that trackpad, stop it. When somebody's had the same experience as you've had, and you had no idea that somebody it was almost identical. When I was 12, my grandpa slapped his hand down on my shoulder and grabbed it. He'd been dead for 2.5 months and ran away, and it never happened again to me or anyone. Always felt regret for running. I get feeling regret for running, but that's probably why it's not happened again, Dawson. You know, he's known not to. I actually do, but I am actually somebody who subscribes to the theory that if you do believe and you are open to it, you're more likely to have an experience anyway. And I also think that there are people who don't experience. I think a lot of people don't experience for two reasons. I think one of the reasons is they don't believe, so they're closed to it. But that can also be the reason that people don't want to see it. They don't necessarily just believe in it. They might believe in it, but think they know they couldn't handle actually witnessing something or having something happen. Creosaw mountain lion sitting on a back wall, doing the same. Brought the dog in fast. Oh my goodness. The new the longer Final Destination trailer, not the teaser one. I saw that yesterday or the day before. Looked really good. Really good. Shame Tony Todd's not here. Exorcist scared me to death and I've only seen it once now. Do you know The Exorcist didn't scare me? I don't know why. The only bit in The Exorcist that scared me, I think it's a great film. I'm not dissing the film. It's a great film. But the only bit in The Exorcist that scared me was very near the beginning when the mum's walking through the house and she hears scratching in the attic. For some reason that got to me. And for a while it was, I think it's in the movie now, I'm sure for a while the crab walk down the stairs was taken out of the movie. That freaks me out. But I was never actually frightened. I love Labyrinth and Neverending Story. I wish I did. I'm surprised I don't. I'm sure it's the Muppet thing. I've only seen the first 4 minutes of the end Exorcist. It was so boring I also turned it off. I've tried 5 times. Nothing happens in the first 4 minutes. You got to give it more than 4 minutes. I think you might find it a little dated, actually, Dawson. No sparkly vampires in it. Pomps. Pomps. Dawson, you're a plonker sometimes. Pomp said that. Raven, I missed your entry. I'm still gonna have to take it back. You missed Raven's wrench. Watch the full movie. It's a nightmare. It's weird. It didn't scare me. I was there, Dawson, and I was a little bit late because we'd had internet issues. But I was there. Not good enough for you. Take my bloody wrench back. I'm not keeping the bullies from your door anymore. Me and Mike was there as well. No, it's got to be Raven. It's got to be Raven. It's okay, I'm kidding. I thought my son would love the Labyrinth when he was little. Poor kid got so scared he cried. I felt horrible. When he got older, I showed him again. He was still... Yeah, me too. Creeps me out. Cannot handle it. Don't put Muppets in fantasy films. Never get past the beginning, Sheila. I was trying to think how it is. Not much happens at the beginning. It takes a while to get going. Fast forward like 20 minutes into the movie, yeah. Orange animals that switch heads part. Yeah, you could actually just skip through it, to be honest, Dawson. It's not the deepest story. Yes, but Beardo does say people are fake when they use a piece of equipment like the DR6 now do. I don't agree with that. And Crow in it, not today's live, whenever he was live last. When he did his rant about something. Oh, it was the What's It video, what's he called? Crap, can't remember his name. Second Beardo, both in the video on him. I mean, you know, Crow doesn't like any of the equipment, but that's his point, you know. There's a difference between using something knowing it's fake and using something because you believe it works, because either you've been misinformed or you haven't checked it out properly. That's not deliberately faking, that's just using something that's questionable. So I agree with Cree. Spirit boxes utilises radio waves of EMF. Radio waves are capable of being manipulated. Enough said. I don't mind if someone doesn't believe. Exactly, but you don't use it without having looked into that and having a reason behind it, Dawson. So, you know, nobody should be coming in saying, "Oh, Dawson uses a spirit box. He must be fake." No, he's not. You're not. I should have rebooted before I started. This mouse is killing me. There we go. I'm so glad. Not sure you and Dawson should be talking in code in public, though. I'll let them have their fun. The end pump. I will end you if you keep talking jargon, Mr. Towler. Sarah's full on crying the chat. I'm not crying the chat. You're just not listening. I have made several comments about what you've been saying. They've been on the screen. Pay attention, Dawson. Sit up straight when you're in class and listen to teacher. Investigators should be able to use what equipment they want as long as they try to debunk each piece of evidence like you do with the results of evidence, yeah. How far am I behind? Oh, bugger, sorry. I thought I was like 2 minutes. I'm 20 minutes. I'm segging the chat. I'm not crying the chat. I'm segging it. Any small channels need a moderator? I'm willing to go to moderator school and help Insomnia and Homebody here. No problem. As a ghost hunter, look, Dawson Toller said, as a ghost hunter, I personally don't appreciate people calling someone fake for using something. No. And Crow made that point as well. That's wrong, but at the end of the day, you can say anything on the internet, who cares? Yeah, it's not an automatic fake if somebody's using equipment that you don't agree with. It's about intent to me. It's about intent and how that equipment's being used, because some of it can be manipulated and is by some of the fake channels. Oh, the psychology and psychiatrist course have been waiting for us back up. I will hopefully. Oh, excellent. You'll enjoy that, Raven. I'm comparing the map of missing people in the national parks to the map in black with cryptids and UFO sightings. Something is afoot here. The maps really correlate. Look at the places where they know that there's a lot of underground. Oh, I've lost my internet. Cave systems, etc. If they have any information on what's beneath, because that can get very interesting. Cree says, I agree. Dawson Toller, just reinforcing that I know he's here. I am a firm believer that it isn't about the equipment used, but what they do with it. Look at the investigation of it as a whole. Paranormal Proof, hello. Good to see you. Not a problem, John Boy. You make me a mod. I'll happy to moderate for you, darling. It's why I said to you last night, I don't care if you stand there and give me nothing. It's what happened. That's what happened. I feel bad for you. It had to be boring. Yeah. And it's difficult for investigators, and I'm sure Dawson will probably say that this can happen to him. It's like I've had loads and loads and loads of paranormal experience, potentially paranormal experiences. Visually, a handful. Like I said, I've seen a full body apparition, I've seen a shadow figure, and I've seen the odd thing move. But against all the other, most of my experience has been auditory. And feelings, which is the strange one I was talking about was about feeling. You can't always film or capture stuff like that. So, and that for me, if I was going out doing investigations, would be the most. You could describe how you're feeling, people, but you've got no proof of it. You just know that there's something not right or something's weird. So think about the real investigations like Dawson, like everybody else that are going out there, and they can sense there's something going on. They can sense that there's an atmosphere, whatever you want to call it, but they can't quantify it for the video. I actually love the national park stories. I'm always looking at those. There's a lot online. I mean, Mr. Bolland does quite a few. and there's other channels that do it as well. They are fascinating, and they're another thing that I will hear a story from one location and then a completely different channel, because you get a lot from park rangers, for example, and you'll hear a story to a completely different national park and it'll almost be the exact same story, and you know, you think, well, no, these places are miles away from each other. We're all more alert than people realise. Yes. If I have a headache and you give me a sugar pill, say it's ibuprofen, and I feel better, I'm not fake for that. My experience is real. It just isn't due to the ibuprofen. Yeah. You have amazing mods, Sarah, and you have me. Yeah. You're all right, Pomp. No, we have amazing mods, including you, sweetie. I wonder if your ND is very graphic. It's more of a burden to tell it. I think it depends on the person, because, you know, this has all been triggered by Stormy sort of saying how, you know, she was shut down or dismissed if she tried to talk about her own experiences. And sometimes the more graphic or the more intense an experiences, the more I think it's natural for us to think, oh, should I be telling this story? It just sounds bananas. Just tell it like it is. How long has the live been on? 1 hour 36 minutes. Started at just before 2 UK time. Amazing mods. The placebo effect definitely works, Dawson. I believe I had an interesting EVP session. I heard words that coincided, but I didn't push it as a ghost yesterday because it wasn't 100% solid. But you do that all the time, Dawson. You know, as you will never. I don't even know off the top of my head if I've watched anything that you've done where you've said, "Oh, that is definitely this." You've talked about the experience. You talked about how you felt. You've looked at what the results are, but you haven't said this is 100% proof of the paranormal. In fact, was it last night you actually said, "Oh, I just wish for once I could actually capture something that I could say that is paranormal." You know? You know what the reception. You never claim 100%. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to crow the chat a little bit because I can see how flaming far behind I am. The Delphi Hotel in Liverpool. Is that? Oh no, hang on. What's the one next to the train station? The one that's got all the really imposing. Is that the Adelphi? Massive building, Gothic looking building, got Masonic symbols on the wall, etc. That's a. I'm telling you, I've only been in it once. I did my research in Liverpool. So I often stayed at the one next to the train station, and it is an imposing. It would be an interesting one if you could do an investigation in it, actually. Alexis, hello. We are talking about our experiences with the paranormal. Yeah, it is a stunning building. The only trouble is, if you stay in there, if it's the one I'm talking about, which I'm sure it is, because we were on the last time I was there, we were sort of way on one of the top floors, and it was a Friday night, and of course it's town centre, so the noise from outside on the streets just going right up through. It is a fascinating building. So. Work call, see you later, much love. Thank you for being here, Dawson, appreciate you. Ryan says, some of the stuff I've talked about with the conspiracies and old technology can be dangerous just to talk about. Watching me see. Yeah, I know, there's a little bit of me that careful of that. I think the mind is a powerful thing. I think the mind is a very powerful thing, and I think we still haven't unlocked the most of it. Something we know very little about. I use my mind to help me get rid of pain. It works really well. Yeah. I've been known to do that. Not completely, but to try and sort of lessen it. Bye. Don't come into my chat. Trolling. Gone and banned. Hang on. I like Aussies, nice people. I love my Aussies in the chat and in my mods. Phil and I want to do one that's Aussie themed alive at some point. Mods, can you keep an eye on the chat? Because I've just banned one comment. I saw it come up. We've got a troll in. I've banned them, but just in case there's multiple accounts. I won't watch the Final Destination films because no matter how unlikely all of those accidents could happen, it is absolutely true when people say that the truckload of logs you drive past one of those on a motorway, you just want to get away from it. Where's that Cree? Because that happens in a lot of places. That bit in the attic, The Exorcist, really scared me too, Sarah, especially as I had only learnt at the time that poltergeists have to start with scratching sounds in the wall. That scratch is the only bit of The Exorcist that frightened me. The whole country has tunnelling systems, underground cities that we have no idea all over the country. That happens in a lot of places. I live in a town that there's tunnels all over the place underneath this town. That's known about. The ancient, some of them led from the castle. I've not been scared of a film since I was about 10. The Legend of Hell House and the original Amityville. I find the original Amityville horrors creepy, actually. Sorry, I'm crowing. I actually just want to check that there's no more hate comments. Yeah, I think everyone should be able to use what they want to use. As much as I don't like a lot of it, it's just how you use it. Use the equipment. There's good advice from Ryan. Use equipment to your advantage. They are tools and need to be used correctly. It's alright, they've gone and I've banned them, Pomp. If the DR60 is placed and people are completely still and quiet, then they should be credible. But if held, I can understand why people would say it's being manipulated. Dawson and Noah both feel an affinity to certain devices. Maybe that's what helps the placebo effect. Still, for real paranormal evidence to be proven by any type of a device would have to be completely sealed off from any other influences. So full-on Faraday cage, soundproof and a lot more. Yeah. Looking, ignore them. Oh, they're gone. How come you're not on webcam? Because my computer at the moment won't cope with the camera. Is the simple answer to that. I will be soon. I am for vlogs and things, but StreamYard and my laptop do not like slows everything down. I believe in Dawson Tolun is a real boy. A real boy! No problem, paranormal proof. See you later. Yeah, it's about intent. You can't... if somebody genuinely thinks they're doing the right thing, that's not faking. If they know full well that it's not real, that is. When an investigator has a paranormal experience, with or without equipment, usually they will have a clue with their own feelings or your own instincts. Exactly. Sarah, hello. Sarah Bowman in the house. I can crow the chat now. Somebody's saying hello. I think of it as it's not what's said as much as how it's said. If someone feels attacked, they're going to go on the defensive. We all do it. We do. Dawson is long gone, Sarah. Okay. Oops. Just get rid of those. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Just get rid of them. It's clear that they're trolls. You almost cut with yesterday. Shush! Hang on, how far behind am I? No, I'm catching up. I'm only 5 minutes now. I'm growing the chat. So I'm crowing. What did I miss? Listening, but there's another troll. I'm kidding. Oh no, it's Jeffafar. Jeffafar in the chat. Trolls do really, yeah, they don't last long in here. That's why we just get rid of them. Found them already, so thank you. That's what I mean. The mods know. Just get rid. No pissing about trying to talk to them. It's not what they're here for. Mess with the troll. Hey troll, how is it under the bridge, or shall I say Mom's basement? Hey, we're talking about you. It's been bad, Jeff. Real bad, Jeff. Was it Franco that did the one with the woman in the graveyard? I saw the ones in Jimmy's. But the problem with the ones I get, they tend to be targeting specific people, and I'm not having people bullied. If it's just general trolling, then yeah, just take the piss out of them before you get rid. We know so little on how the brain works. I think that's why some people are more connected than others. A certain part of the brain is turned on for them and not others. Yeah. There's very little known about how the brain works. Sky, don't fade away. Oh, we're still suffering, Samhain. I'm sorry to hear that. I can't watch Franco at all. I only see him in debunking videos like Real Paranormal, Bug Puppy, and Mackie and Amanda. I've told Seg I'm unsubbing if he does another Mackie and Amanda. Underbridge Trolls. Oh, it's an old fairy tale. Three Billy Goats Gruff. They have to cross over a bridge and there's a troll underneath. I'm happy we're back on track time-wise. Bought my troll super soaker. Love to spend time. Good to see you, APRF. Yeah, these trolls are different from Jimmy's trolls the other night. These people or this person is just pure. They're bullying. They're bullying. They're targeting individuals in the chat. It's funny, you know, when it comes to run away. In the moment of some of the experiences I've had, which in theory, big experiences, I wasn't scared at all. Think about it later. I'm creeped the fuck out. But at the actual moment of it happening, no. I think I must be able to compartmentalize it or something because no. Didn't see the troll here. My mods zap very quickly. It's literally, they're very quick. I love we can have these conversations here. So it's Chandler's a true safe space. We need a safe space. Don't like bullies. Full stop. I just don't like it. I don't think I watch anybody. It's the debunking channels now. Trolls are proof that a lot of people only use 20% of their brain. As for the other 70%, nobody knows. What about the other 10%? Rain was super fast. Oh no, I'm here with 101 fever. Sheila, take care of yourself. What's the latest? You missed all the trolls. You missed the fun. Justin missed the fun. Justin, have you done a... Sure you have. Because I'm trying to think off the top of my head here. A podcast on near-death experiences at all. Because we've been talking about that. Could go back and rewatch. You talk of bullies and who should appear. I know. Mods on alert. He starts talking about lube. Just let him. What day is it today? It's Monday today. Justin will be live tonight. 8 o'clock, guys. 8 o'clock UK time. Go and laugh at his jumper. Maybe listen to the podcast as well. But I can say we weren't talking about glittering lube. All down to the individual. I just think it's a risky thing to have. Trolls, go away. If you're not here to listen to reason, you'll be blocked today. See, the thing is, people who come into my chat to troll individuals. They don't come into the chat to troll the subject matter. Yeah, Raven, you tell him, Raven, why didn't you skip school for Crow before you made him very upset? Do you know something? Crow was coming on to you and you weren't there to hear it. I was hoping you had your phone on blast in the staff room. Oh, Justin. Rewatch is live. He cried. I'm mad. I appreciate employment more than Crow. Ooh, that'll sting for him. Oh, that's harsh. But fair. Raven's not impressed. Who needs a steady job anyway? Screaming Demon Glitter Lube, sponsored by Matt Demon, now in new lemon pepper flavour. New merch range for you, Justin. Glitter Lube. Just no need banana flavour. Yeah, we're having a good, solid, serious conversation about paranormal experiences, and Justin turns up. Wayne says, I love teachers, but I prefer famous grouse. Banana flavoured. Well, it's Monkey Podcast. It's got to be themed. Glitter Loop sounds awful like sex on a beach. Yeah, it does sound awful, doesn't it? All whiskey is yucky. My problem with whiskey is it has to be a really good one. I don't like the cheap whiskies. I love the good ones, but you're talking about £80 to £100 a bottle for it to be a good whiskey. And I can't afford that. Even if I could afford that, I probably wouldn't. But I like Jack Daniels. Can just see the sixth formers swooning over Justin. And yeah, really? Is it the jumper? I like, but I do like. I can drink a cheaper bourbon. Yeah. Stands in strange places. Yeah. Justin's primary school. 100% proof of cheddar. Oh, that sounds good. I don't like banana flavoured stuff. Actually, banana flavour and strawberry flavour I didn't used to like so much. I can have it. I can actually have it more now. I have a smoothie every day now because trying to be healthy and shit. Smoothie in the morning, fry up in the evening. Balanced diet, and I'll often put bananas in it. Teaching at your own level, Justin. I'm joking, I think. I have to say, Justin, that my last job was teaching teenagers, 16 to 19. I'd started at the university and then I ended up on teaching 16 to 19 before I actually went self-employed. And this was when I was in my sort of early 40s, and I remember thinking it's one of the reasons I wanted to come home and just be self-employed. And it wasn't that I didn't enjoy teaching them, but I thought I can't keep doing this till I'm 60. It's exhausting. Teenagers scare the living shit out of me. If you know the song You're Awesome, I'm Not Awesome. I haven't seen Adolescence yet. Teens today are terrible. To be honest, I don't think that's particularly new. Just depends where. Just depends on the like everybody else. It depends on the person. You're awesome, Sky. Keep them coming. What you say? Mike, my brain just whips them up and down my finger like a machine. Okay. Okay, I think my brain stopped working because I'm losing track of what the Sky is saying. What the Sky is saying. What the chat is saying. Adolescence keeps being recommended. I might have to give it a go. It's Netflix, isn't it? I really should be editing tonight, but I think we all know that's not going to happen because I'm exhausted. I might try it's a series, isn't it? So I might try the first episode, see what it's like. Oh, sounds awesome. I'm a good Southern lady pomp. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with that, Mike. I'm thinking, yeah. It's not that new. So glad my daughter's got through secondary school unscathed. Bloody miracle I did. So I grew up in a rough little town. I think it's more. I mean, there's only one choice of high school when I was at school anyway. But I know Bestie lives in Sunderland, and it's a big city. And I know that for a couple of her kids, she had to send them to both boys actually, sent them to a school in another town because just knew they wouldn't cope with the local high school. I was the most boring teenager ever. I did nothing. Well, I was already into my rock music and geeky stuff and stuff. I wasn't just a rocker, but I was a rocker in the 80s when, you know, you were all evil. I'm such an impressionable English gentleman, Sheila. Ah. Bloody foul half of them. Also, it depends where you are, to be honest. What the attitude is. I was watching movies and playing games. That was my teenage years. Never went to any party. It's more gigs and concerts and stuff when I was. Oh no, Mary Jane, sorry. The end of my teenage years, I started going to concerts and festivals. So I guess that's not true. I think it depends what you're doing. I mean, I had a good time and all into my 20s as well. I mean, I left school in 85 and I spent the late 80s and the early 90s in London. I was going to 3 to 5 gigs a week. It's awesome. Church socials were my teen years. Mine was until I got kicked out. Wear it like a badge of honour. Because it was stupid. There we go. Bottom of the chat. Look at me. Bottom of the chat. The word wild has been used to describe me more than once. Yeah, me too. But more in terms of just being a rocker and, you know, and wearing the sort of denim and leather and long hair and listening to devil's music. Never been to a rave. Or I think I'm a bit like raving at a proper party, but then, you know, my idea of going out was go and see music. Go and see rock. Ding ding ding. Thank you. Sarah at the bottom of the chat. Didn't think that was going to happen today. We're on 2 hours. 4 o'clock. Keep going for a bit more and then I just want to wrap up with some updates. Hold on. What did Mike say? I'm proud. I don't regret my teenage years. I didn't like school. Bloody hated school. I was a loner too. I never felt like I belonged anywhere. In retrospect, I was probably just too sensitive, on the edge of autistic. I only found myself in my 20s. Yeah, I kind of similar, Alexis, as I mean, I'm on edge of the autistic spectrum anyway, but never knew until I was later in life. I mean, I was always alone. I only sort of had a few close friends. It was all I ever wanted. I'm not bothered. I've never been bothered about being part of the in crowd or being part of a big gang. But I think being a rocker and a nerd, I was on the fringe anyway, and I've always been very happy there. I really couldn't handle being around inverted commas normal people. I'm still lost going around in oblongs. Oh, bless you, Sky. How bad were you, Mike? High school enrolled me in military school in order to graduate. We don't want them. Send them off to military school. Charles Dickens was born in my city. Love Dickens. Victorian authors, brilliant. I'm sunbathing by the pond. This is glorious. I'm very happy for you, Jumbo. Sunbathing. You got beer in your hand. I was going to say cocktail, but it'd be a beer, wouldn't it? We are getting into the weather now that I can sit in the garden with a beer. We've got a bit of cloud, but it is nice and warm today. Cree says I'm gonna give up on this mouse. Hang on, this trackpad. Cree was there we go. My brother was sent to military school for the same reason. No, H2O. Oh, Poe. I love me some Poe. John Boy is making me jealous. Scotland is dull and miserable as usual. I think I'm in the middle because we've got clouds, so it's not bright sunshine, but there is blue sky and it is warm. When the sun was shining when I went up to the shop, which is why I was struggling to get the live stream started on time because I had to walk and it took me ages to walk there and back because I forgot to take me a rescue inhaler for a start. I learned to plant trees in a thunderstorm at military school. Oh, I'd cry. I don't like thunderstorms. Oh, Gerald Durrell. He was the guy that did the animals books. My Family and Other Animals. Is that what it was? How did I remember that? Oh, I got it wrong. Agatha Christie. I used to read Agatha Christie when I was younger. I like Arthur Conan Doyle as well, actually. Some of the Sherlock Holmes stories are really good. But Poe and H.G. Wells are two of my favourites. That's him, Sarah. That was it. Found a Jersey Zoo too, yeah. It's a while since I've heard that name, actually. I think he was kind of popular at the same time, roughly the same time as they were making All Creatures Great and Small. Mary Jane, I'm off for a bit now. Guys. Thanks for a chilled afternoon. No problem. Really good to have you here, sweetie. See, nightclubs and parties were never my thing. It's gigs. If I went to a nightclub, it's because it had a rock night. I need to bog off and get some food. How gentlemanly of you, Pomp. Still having a fry up for me tea. Which actually won't be long. I'm not going to be on for much longer. Wedding had a Highlands and a ruined castle. Ooh, that sounds good. Well, if the weather holds for you. No problem. Like I say, I'm going to wind it up. What I'm actually going to say is, and I will put a video together outlining all of this, is, yeah, I am going to be putting a book together, so I will put a video together of how to get in touch with stories, etc. What we are also gearing up towards is other channels involved. We just don't know how exactly I'm going to do it yet. Probably around June, I want to do involve it with a charity stream as well. But Phil and I were talking about it. I don't know whether we're going to do, say, a 12-hour live stream or something. I think what we may do is try and get a weekend of it and try and get a few channels to actually plug the idea of talking about the paranormal and getting more stories together, etc. So I will keep you updated on that. But I do need to clarify that with some of the other channels. And I'll put it out in a video. I am live again on Wednesday night if you're US. Early hours of Thursday morning if you're UK. My usual time of 1:30 probably. I used to love thunderstorms, Debbie, when I was a kid, and then I spent the summer in Washington, D.C. when I was 19. And because of the humidity, they have humongous thunderstorms every 2 or 3 days. Hated them ever since. And I used to do that. Stand outside when thunderstorms are happening. Can't do it now. Yeah, I'm winding up, John Boy. Thank you for being here, sweetie, and I'm happy to mod for you. So next time I'm in, just give me a wrench. Watching lightning is so powerful. I have seen a lightning storm, and that was in Virginia, and that was freaky because when there's just lightning, no thunder with it, it's so quiet, and just see lightning everywhere. That's creepy. Right, guys, thank you so much. Yes, I hope you're not in the firing line of those, Mike, because they keep changing where they are on the map. Every time I look at Ryan Hall, y'all, that sort of danger zone seems to shift. Thank you to the mods, and thank you to you guys for being so on the ball with the trolls that came in. I really do appreciate you. Thank you to Sky and to Mariah. To Sky for the gift of memberships and to Mariah for the super chat. And I'm just trying to get my comments back. And yeah, looking forward to, and I'm hoping that today, if nothing else, shows that we can have an initial discussion about this sort of thing. The trolls that came in were nothing to do with the subject. Just to put people's minds at rest, it was nothing to do with the subject we were talking about. So we've had a very civilized conversation about different paranormal experiences. So it is possible, guys. So what day is it, Monday? So off the top of my head, Justin's live at 8 with his podcast, and Jeff Afar will be live later on. I think it's 12:30 our time, so 7:30 if you're US. Beyond that, I have got a list up on both the Facebook page and on I did put one up on my community posts. By the way, if you are a member of Children of the Crow, or you want to be a member of Children of the Crow, this sounds like a funny thing to say in my life, but I just want you to know Debbie, myself and Mike are revamping it, so get it back up and running again. So if you haven't and you're already a member, please go and have a look. Or if you're on Facebook, Children of the Crow Facebook group, you can apply to join. Thank you, Raven. It's going down really well so far. So we're sort of trying to bring it to life again, and it does seem to be working. Get it back to being about Crow. So thank you, everybody. I will see you on Wednesday. And I'll see you around chats, etc. And thank you for being here. So, awkward ending. Toodle.
Don't need coffee.
I need coffee. I need coffee.
You don't need coffee.
I need coffee.